Sweet Carol.
Ba, ba, ba.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Hit the Books Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Holcomb.
And I'm Emery Saunders.
And I'm Nick Marlatt.
And we're here to bring you all the nerdy news you need to know about this week. For those of you unfamiliar with the show, Emery, Nick, and I'll bring you various nerd topics, nerd news. We no longer do a topic of the show, but we do have a D&D stream on Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m.
Yes, we do. Twitch.tv/Those Natural Ones, where I am your host, your dungeon master, and what happens when you order Matthew Mercer off of Wish. Emery is one of our players.
Yes, and when I tell you that we've already managed to go off the rails, episode 1, let's just say there's a failure to attempt to land a boat.
What happens when you give D&D players a boat? They sink it and set it on fire.
And learn very quickly that we are not sailors.
Which is ironic, because there's a turtle in the group.
There is a turtle in the group.
Yeah.
He knows how to sail himself.
I'm telling you, you guys should just rode him like a Pokemon or something.
He's not that big. He can hold one of us max. The rest of us are fucked.
Yeah, we're using the Titanic defense. Oh, there's not enough room on this door. Nobody can possibly fit on this door.
Okay. The door aside, you can't do that. That's besides the point. This game is amazing from like episode 1. Please tune in every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Absolutely. And if you, for some reason, do miss that, the VODs are available immediately afterwards on Twitch, or you can check them out on YouTube. We don't really have a YouTube address right now because reasons, but it is linked on our Facebook page, both the Hit the Books Vids Facebook as well as facebook.com/Those Natural Ones.
And of course, the Facebook is facebook.com/HitTheBooks, and we're on Twitter at HTBVids. So definitely look out for those links and those posts. All right, guys, what have you been up to? What have you been doing? Obviously, you had the stream on Tuesday.
Sure.
Anything else going on?
Well, a little-known show called The Sandman just dropped.
Oh, boy. It looks dope as fuck.
I have not watched it yet, for other reasons. But
I will say that if you are interested in something being as close to comics accurate, and by close to comics accurate, I mean some of these look like animated versions of the panels leaping off of the page. It's amazing. You should watch The Sandman.
Yeah, I've been stuck recently. I finally broke down and purchased a membership to the Gizmoplex, and I've been streaming binging the newest season of Mystery Science Theater 3000, and it is fantastic.
That is delightful.
Absolutely fantastic. And
that's
I'm
wonderful.
Super excited because the episode I'm going to watch either tonight when we're done here or tomorrow is a little treat called Dr. Morteus, which was, so get this, the writer for this movie. This came out in the early 90s. The writer was given the task of writing a Doctor Strange movie. Well, then they lost the rights to Marvel's Doctor Strange, but they're like,
so
you know what?
made a strange movie.
They're like, you know what? This is actually a pretty good movie. Let's just change the character's name and make it anyway. And they did. And I cannot wait to watch this because it sounds so bad. So bad.
Maybe we should add it as an unofficial comic movie master list edition.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
I don't know what date we left off of. It was late 70s. Is that where we left off?
Yeah, I think
Wonder Woman was the last one, I think.
The
The one that was blonde.
the blonde Wonder Woman who was weirdly just a secret agent.
She's a secret spy.
And
that's
She's not
Comic accurate.
but she's still from
Completely.
Greece, or the fake Themyscira.
Fake Themyscira, and also weirdly, her villain is Ricardo Montalban.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
it's very over the top and amazing in all the worst ways.
My favorite quote is actually Ricardo Montalban's. Like towards the end, after he's very clearly caught by whatever police organization happens to be there at the time, his response after Wonder Woman comes up and is like, "Ha, I caught you." His response is, "Wonder Woman, I loved you." Like,
Completely
when?
unnecessary.
Fucking how?
When you were trying to crush her? Oh, all right.
After putting her through something that belongs in an Austin Powers movie, he just proclaims his love for this Wonder Woman who's very clearly not actually Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
It was, oh my God.
I mean,
that's something that
We talk about,
MST3K should handle. Oh my
absolutely.
God.
we talk about doing cocaine comics all the time. But we forget the 70s happened, and DC really was doing cocaine, and they literally made the comic Wonder Woman about the woman from Themyscira losing her powers and then becoming a
Fantastic.
secret agent, because that's what was in vogue at the time.
Of course.
Oh my God. It's
It's
like
terrible.
we were trying to hop on the James Bond craze and doing it with the character that makes the least sense to do that with.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
you're doing this not with Batman? What the fuck?
Well, they didn't learn their lesson, because they eventually did it to Dick Grayson, too, for no reason whatsoever. But
second verse, same as the first.
yeah, they put a big G on his
Dick
chest.
Grayson, I loved you.
Oh no!
Montalban!
That just, oh God, that reminded me of that time he, for the sake of the mission, boned a gorilla.
Oh, God. That's canon.
Things get real wild over at Doing Cocaine Comics.
They sure do. And that'll be a big part of our news today.
Fantastic. Oh, wow.
But speaking of Sandman, I did see something that makes me just the tiniest bit worried. Is Joanna Constantine, who in the comics is in the 1800s as an ancestor to John Constantine, or corrected as John Constantine.
The pronunciation
That-
BS.
that-
Don't do that. I don't
Yep,
know.
the creator
No.
went on Twitter publicly
Okay.
at the premiere of this show and corrected the pronunciation and said that everybody's been saying it wrong all this time.
That's
It's
not.
just-
no.
that's,
No. I just no.
in the
That's
court
like,
of public opinion, I find him guilty.
that is almost as bad as the GIF guy.
Yeah, that's
GIF,
exactly
not
what
GIF.
I thought of when I saw that.
No,
he went in
It's
and
not
like was
graphical. It's graphical. So it's GIF.
he was literally arguing with people on Twitter about the reality. You gotta quit fidgeting with that.
Dude, right
Keep
there.
sinking into the abyss.
It's right there, right where my leg goes.
But yeah, I saw some screenshots of her in the current day, and that makes me very worried because A, we're erasing John Constantine, who is a very important character.
Yeah.
And B, we're kind of ignoring her 1800s storyline. Is that what's going on here?
yeah.
time travel.
Okay, that is a.
See, that's
I'm gonna call that a minor nitpick because we're going to handle this for one episode and then we're never coming back here again.
okay.
Like we have an entire world to deal with.
I mean, I'm sure she's cool, but like her story in the 1800s is cool.
Right, and kind of
you're replacing the male character with the female character instead of just letting them both exist in the timeline, which is awesome where it was in the timeline.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that move kind of reeks of we might not get a second season, so we're just gonna
Yeah,
double down
let's-
on this one thing and make
Flop
Throw
sweat.
everything in at once just to
Yeah.
make sure that we get our
we
story
don't know
told.
if we can do John Constantine yet.
I mean, flop sweat's a real thing, especially with Netflix, because they have not been batting 1,000,
they haven't been batting 1,000,
specifically
and
with comic book materials.
and they always swing for the they swing for the very back of the stadium, like it's going to be their only swing that they ever get to do, and again. That's a minor nitpick. The rest of this thing's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I've been hearing nothing but good things. All the reviews appear to be really positive. I love it. It's one of my favorite comic books of all time, as we talked about on last episode. It's great.
I never thought I would actually have chills watching someone with no eyeballs in their eye sockets actually show teeth coming down where lids would normally go. They're
Terrifying. Thank you for that waking
Well,
nightmare.
he's literally a nightmare.
He's literally a nightmare. That's his entire deal.
Yeah, and he murders people. That's a
yes.
whenderful thing.
Yes, this is
Murder.
when I tell you
Except all the eyes say it.
murder. Yeah, when I say to you, they went all the way into the weird. Boy,
That makes me so happy. All right, well, that will be added to the catch-up list.
Yep.
Speaking of the catch-up list, I made notes.
Oh boy.
Oh, Jesus.
So we had some minor corrections for last episode. There was more, but I edited them out, so yeah, you'll never know. But the one I did say, the Ptolemaious trilogy, when we were talking about the old Scholastic Book Fair books, it was actually the Bartimaeus trilogy, and the third book was Ptolemy's Gate. So I mixed them up in my brain.
I have no idea what any of those words mean.
They were fun Scholastic Book Fair young adult
Sure.
fiction
YA
featuring
novels.
djinns.
My fucking favorite.
Djinns?
Djinns and other elemental creatures.
This was before they discovered comic books were a thing.
Wunderbar.
Next up, I did watch The Eternals.
sorry.
Notes.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't as bad as everybody
No,
says.
it really wasn't.
It really
was,
wasn't.
It was a time waste movie. It
Granted,
wasn't.
I went in with rock bottom expectations,
Yeah,
so that
did
probably
I.
helped.
So did
Yeah.
I. And like I said, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good either. It was passable.
It was boring.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is
There's a lot of
weirdly-
lore, which I'm probably a nerd. So
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
the lore
I
dumps
actually
were
enjoyed
fun, but
Yeah. I thought some of the stuff they did with it was kind of unnecessary. Like they made the one mute, and I was like, why? And then she screams halfway through,
Well,
and she
she-
understands people talking without looking at them or doing
Yeah.
sign language. So it's like, are you really deaf, or are you just pretending to be deaf?
she wasn't mute. She was deaf. There is a distinction.
Well,
My daughter's
That's
deaf.
funny you say that, because she understood a lot of things that were being
She
said
did.
without looking
And
at
that
anybody.
that was poor directing and poor editing.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought that whole thing was kind of weird.
I appreciate from somebody who's a member of the deaf community, due to my daughter being profoundly deaf, I do appreciate the inclusivity. However, I feel like they did it very wrong. Echo was much better.
Oh, yeah. From
in
the
Hawkeye.
the Hawkeye series, yeah.
Echo was
Yeah.
done so much better, and I cannot wait for that show. But yes, there was a lot of issues with that, and
It also
a lot of
seems weird
issues
that,
that-
she was an artificial being and he made her deaf.
exactly. And like
The-
from things I've seen in the deaf community, we're not the only people who think that it was done poorly.
Yeah.
However,
Didn't ruin the experience
No.
for me. It was just a nitpick thing. I was like,
Yeah.
that's kind of weird. But other than that, really didn't have any major issues with it. It did bring up a lot of questions about the movies that came afterwards.
and why no one's talking about this giant fucking
Yeah.
hand
Which-
and head coming out of
Yeah.
the fucking ocean?
Well, I saw that meme, and the meme is what made me say, all right, fine, I gotta fucking watch this.
Yeah.
Because everything's getting ruined at this point. So I watched it, but yeah, why are we just pretending the Eternals don't exist, like in all the follow-up
Right.
movies? And like, I don't-
it's weird
Because we're setting up for the X-Men war, right?
We're setting up for the X-Men, but god damn it, if you're going to do the Eternals and have the head and hand of what's basically a god in this world come out of the earth and just stay there,
yeah.
And no one
nobody's-
says anything?
Nobody's addressing it at all.
like that should be
All right.
that should be
Cool.
literally like
If
the
this-
shot heard round the universe.
Okay, let's be realistic. If this was real life and that actually happened, somebody would be selling fucking mansions on each one of those fingers for like multi-million dollars by now.
Yeah, Kanye would own a hand.
Kanye would own the pinky finger.
Yeah.
Oh
And-
god. See, that would be that sounds to me like an abandoned script idea for something Lex Luthor would do.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Lex Luthor, I thought it was funny how there was a lot of DC references in that movie. A lot of them.
I mean, damn near all of them are like analogs for DC characters, like one way or another.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Just weird to see that in a Marvel movie where they're directly pointing out the fact that most of them are rip-off characters.
A little bit.
And literally saying the rip-off characters in the movie.
So, we've talked about this before, and I'm going to bring it up again. Fucking Kit Harington's character, the Black Knight or the Dark Knight or whatever.
He's the Black Knight.
The Black Knight.
Yep.
Like, how far into the bottom of the barrel are we scraping now?
It's the bottom.
We're going deep, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna integrate that with the whole romantic interest and the space
I get
shenanigans.
I just mean the characters in general, because
Yeah.
I get that, you know, prior to the MCU, Iron Man was, I mean, while he was definitely a main core in the comics character, he wasn't a well-known in broad terms
He was a B-tier character at best for Marvel before the movie.
So I get that Marvel has a history of bringing in B-tier characters into the MCU, mostly because they didn't have the rights to do movies with their A-tier characters.
Mm-hmm.
However, fucking Black Knight?
Yeah, I mean they're going for it. There's more power to them.
I swear to you, I think Black Knight was only there so that they could have an excuse to reference Blade
And to sign Kit Harington?
and to
something?
sign Kit Harington to movies that'll maybe happen in 2030 because good God, the
Good luck
slate
with that.
keeps filling up.
Yeah, but apparently there is an Eternals 2 movie coming.
Yeah.
They've been talking about that recently, so
I will
maybe we'll see more on
wait with bated breath for that one, let me tell you.
And keep asking why no other property in Marvel is mentioning the hand and head.
it. Yeah, very conspicuous.
That it's the hand and head are gonna turn into the living mutant island.
Oh
fucking-
no,
no.
no!
Don't do it.
Don't you
Don't-
dare!
Gold Balls is gonna get a finger.
Okay, if they do that, I'm nuking Marvel from space. It's the only way to be sure. That can never spill out into live action. It will kill everything.
So yeah, back to the original point. Eternals, enjoyable experience.
Krakatoa, is that it?
Krakoa.
Krakoa.
They're on crack. God damn it. Don't make them pod people, for the love of God.
That's gimmick infringement.
Mm.
Next up, I did watch the whole Moon Knight series. Very enjoyable.
I enjoyed
liked
Moon
it a
Knight,
lot
personally.
I know they went kind of away from a lot of the canon stuff,
They
but
did,
it
but
was very enjoyable.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
enjoyable. And personally, Oscar Isaac's, right? Oscar Isaac?
Yeah. Oscar Isaac.
My brain stopped working. I was like, I don't think that's the right name.
Don't worry, I'll edit this out.
Yeah, no, you won't. This will be a fucking highlight clip. Oscar Isaac is fantastic in that role, and the fact that he can play that duality so well. Like we talked a few weeks ago about Split.
Yeah,
And
we did.
It while not quite as intense as the character in Split, but anyone who can do that multiple personality and do it well, that's like a whole nother tier. You know, it's one thing to act with somebody. It's something completely different to act with yourself. You know?
Yeah. Especially those later episodes, like episode 4 and 5.
When they're actually like interacting with each other.
That takes a lot of talent.
The mirrors and all that shit. Yeah. It's crazy.
I will say it had to have taken the biggest balls to just not do Jake until like the end credits stinger.
yes.
I thought that was
It's like
episode 5 or 4 where he's in the insane asylum and he sees the casket
That's
moving.
the-
I'm
right.
like, all right,
Okay,
finally
here
they're
we
going to
go.
introduce him.
like the red
Yeah.
sarcophagus.
But nope, they're like, secret ending. I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
Oh, you thought he was good? Nah.
Nah. Not so much.
He's still a hired killer.
But yeah, really enjoyed it. Really looking forward to what they do next with the
Right.
character. And one thing I did note that was kind of interesting is a lot of the episodes, I don't know if there's one in every episode, but a lot of the episodes have QR codes in them.
Yes, and each QR
and
code.
I scanned them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you're getting to this.
Yeah.
They give away free comics.
Yes, they do.
Which is awesome.
And
that's a great idea.
it's not. That's where they started, and they do it in Miss Marvel as well.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
So
so
I was
all
gonna be a smart ass and be like, oh, I'm gonna see where this location is and like
Yeah.
see
No,
if I can look up the Foot Locker or whatever.
I don't know. I haven't gone back to see if they are, because I've heard different things, different reports from different places. Some people say that each one is unique. Some people say it's the same QR code that goes.
Yeah, I scanned
and then
two
they
of them and they
update
went to the
comic.
same website.
Yes.
So
See, that's what I thought, because I haven't gone back to check it, but from what I heard was that it's the same QR code on each episode, but each week they update the comic that it links to.
Okay.
So if you're so that's another way to get you to watch live.
Yeah.
So if you watch live, it can, and each comic coincides with that episode for some reason or some way.
That's a good idea. Yeah, when I did it, it went to the same link. Apparently, it looked like the same link, and it seemed like it was a number one. Moon Knight #1 from some era.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the most recent one or not.
I'm pretty sure that each episode was a link to a different comic that in some way tied into the plot line of that episode.
Yeah, I thought that was a brilliant idea. That's a great Easter egg. It's a great way to get more participation from the fans watching it, like keeping an eye out. Like, I think it was called House on Haunted Hill. It was a horror series on Netflix. It was really good. But they had ghost cameos that you'd have to search for them. Like, you wouldn't know that they were necessarily in the shot. And I missed a lot of them until I watched a YouTube video that captured all of them. It just made it more fun that I was always looking in the background trying to find these ghosts.
Another little Easter egg thing from that was in the latest season of Stranger Things, they had this pizza truck. I don't know if you guys watched the latest season yet.
I have.
So they have.
Oh my god!
It's on the list.
The surfer dude pizza or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
There's a phone number on the side of it, and if you call, I actually called the phone number. You call the phone number, and it's a recording of Argyle, like picking up the phone in a pizza shop, and he sounds super burnt out, and he's like just going off for like a minute or so, and then he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta go" or something, and hangs up the phone.
I love shit like that.
That's amazing.
I always wonder how long they're going to maintain that, though.
Right.
And then at some point, it's going to be some poor old lady's phone number. There's going to be hundreds of people calling her every day.
I don't know what this is.
Leave me alone.
What do you mean you called Surfer Pizza?
But, yeah, that's basically all the catching up I got done. Next up is Miss Marvel. You'll finally get your wish.
Yeah, you'll finally watch that. The one thing that I'm excited about with these new Marvel shows and everything, well, not only that they're bringing my boy Daredevil back for his own 12-episode season.
How you feel about the new outfit?
18.
18, that's right.
18 episodes.
Yeah.
When you have, like, typically 6-episode seasons, and then they're like, we know how much you want this character back, that we're going to give him a full fucking 18-episode season.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen the full new episode or new outfit yet, to answer your question, but
yeah. So they basically go like the old comic book route where he's yellow and red.
I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
but
I saw an updated trailer, and I thought I was gonna have issues with the gold head, but then like the red singlet look, and so far, it hasn't bothered me.
Yeah, I thought it looked good.
The only version of it I saw was in the very end of the She-Hulk, where he's in the almost black. Because in the very last scene of the She-Hulk trailer, it shows him like flipping in, and they do the whole "Who is this guy?"
Yeah,
even though
darken the hell out of it. Yeah,
it looks all black, but he's still got the 2 sticks and everything. And it's like, oh.
Okay.
I don't know who that could be, and it's the same lines as the Netflix outfit and everything.
Okay,
but anyway, way off fucking topic. I'm excited to see that they're actually going to start integrating these what they call the street level heroes into some of the movies and into the greater pantheon, so to speak, of the MCU as well.
Yeah.
And the reason why we know this is happening is clearly Miss Marvel is in Captain Marvel 2 or the Marvels, and there's already talk about Daredevil being in certain other projects as well. So that was the biggest concern, and I know there was legal issues between Netflix and shit that I had where they were like, hey, we can reference the movies, but the movies can't reference the shows, and they're
they
together,
don't have to
but
dance
they're
that
not
fine
really
line anymore.
Now we can actually like pull them together, and I can actually see a movie where fucking Daredevil and Spider-Man are like together.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're working on it.
Yeah.
They're working on lining that up like pretty much as we speak.
Yes.
But in the meantime, I am really curious to see with the upcoming She-Hulk show, the interaction between those two, specifically because of the sides of the law that they're
Yes.
known to practice. Because if I'm not mistaken, Matt Murdock is a prosecution attorney, whereas
I think wasn't he a defense attorney?
It depends on which version you're looking
Okay.
at, because he was in Netflix. I can't remember, to be honest.
I'm not
It's been a
strong enough
while.
in my memory of
Yeah,
Daredevil.
in
but-
Netflix, he did actually play defense attorney for Frank Castle. That was a
No.
thing that happened.
No, he was prosecuting Frank Castle. Or no, I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
He did both. He prosecuted Vincent D'Onofrio, Kingpin,
Yeah,
but he was defense of Frank Castle, I think. I don't
Yeah.
remember. I don't
That's
fucking know.
usually that doesn't happen either.
No, it
so
doesn't.
Yeah.
Usually you're one or the other.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But comic books, you can do whatever the fuck you want. It's
true. I guess.
Speaking of which, how did you guys feel about the Kingpin appearance in Hawkeye?
Personally, I loved it. I love anything Vincent D'Onofrio does. I think Vincent D'Onofrio is fantastic. And bringing him in, and I watched it that day where the day it went live, where this was the first integration of the Netflix characters into the MCU. So it was like, you knew it was coming from the whole uncle and the big bad, or the big boss, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, they alluded to it a lot.
They alluded to it
Yeah.
a lot, and you knew it was coming. So then when he finally shows the picture and it's actually Vincent D'Onofrio, I was like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
The confirmation was nice. I will say though, from my personal opinion, I think that there needs to be, and this is why I'm looking forward to Daredevil so much, there needs to be a reestablishment of the Kingpin, because in Hawkeye, they showed him and they alluded to how much power he has, but they only basically showed it vicariously through all of the minions who are running everything for him.
I agree with that.
Largely incompetent minions at
Yes.
that, which made him seem a little neutered.
Yeah.
I agree with that completely, because, well, the Trust a Bro kids were fucking ridiculous.
Trust a bro.
Which I
God
know
damn
that's
it.
straight straight from the comic and everything. The tracksuit mafia, which is hilarious, personally, and they brought it in just because it's fucking funny.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, they need to build up, because the Netflix show did such a good job of building up his repertoire as an actual crime lord.
Yes. That's what I want.
Yeah, I want to see that come through now. And clearly, I mean, anybody who read the comic book knows that he doesn't die when Echo shoots him. He goes
Right.
blind for 3 episodes, and then he gets surgery and gets prosthetic eyes or something, because that's what they do in comics.
Yeah.
I forget.
Convenient.
Yeah. So
Also convenient that nobody else can get these.
Yeah.
Hawkeye's still deaf.
Hawkeye's still
Echo's still
deaf.
deaf.
Fucking
Yeah.
Matt Murdock's still blind.
Yeah.
But he can get prosthetic eyes
Yeah.
or whatever that making
World's
be able to
mightiest
see.
heroes and stuff
Yeah.
can't get nothing.
Yeah.
They're friends with Tony Stark. He's not doing shit for
No.
him.
Oh, absolutely not, because he'd charge an actual arm and a fucking leg.
That was terrible. Terrible. Oh, well. That was fun to talk about, but we should probably get to the news because we're already a half hour in.
And we've got a lot.
Classic Hit the Books fashion.
Yep.
All right, first up, this is kind of a combined topic, so bear with me. I'm going to read through kind of the cliff notes of everything, and then we can hop into the discussion, because it's a lot, and it's all tied together. So, we got news of a lot of HBO woes and Warner Brothers Discovery transition from CEO David Zaslav during their Q2 earnings call. Warner Brothers Discovery, which merged a few years ago, has announced that it will debut a merged streaming service that will be combining HBO Max and Discovery Plus next summer in the United States, and it will come later to other territories, I think 2024 in Europe, and I think the rest of North America and Latin America in the end of 2023. They have not yet discussed the official name of the new app, and the new app will feature an ad-based subscription, which is very cringe to me, Because that means they're going to go the Hulu route where they tell you, oh, pay extra for no ads. And then they end up giving you ads eventually anyway, which is very frustrating. Warner Bros. Movies will no longer be moving to HBO Max after 45 days in theaters. So that benefit is basically gone for those who really enjoyed that. The company has begun canceling several projects and removing certain shows and movies from their app services. Batgirl has been officially canceled, which cost the studio approximately $90 million already. It's already filmed, already shot, already edited. But according to a quote from some of the producers at Warner Bros. Discovery, they said it was irredeemable upon watching.
I want a copy of this now.
Yeah. I really do. I have to see how bad this was.
Well, here's the problem. Because they're going to use it as a $90 million tax write-off, they cannot release it in any shape or form that they can profit from.
Ooh.
Hey, Anonymous, I got a job. I got a job for you. You know, there's a fucking server somewhere.
Kind of reminds me of like the Kevin Smith Superman movie.
Oh,
where they tried to make Nick Cage Superman with long hair and
Superman
like the V-cut chest.
Oh God! And the very plastic just get up that weirdly had like
we'll get a documentary in about 10 years.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
It was a promised HBO Max exclusive, but it will now likely be a tax write-off, as I said. DC Films president Walter Hamada threatened to quit due to the cancellation, but agreed to stay with the studio through the release of the Black Adam movie, which is coming on October 21st.
Which I have really low expectations for that.
Yeah,
as well.
It looks terrible. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it afterwards, but a lot of this is bad news, but some of it I'm like, it's probably the right decision. Next up, according to Kevin Smith on one of his podcasts, he confirmed that Strange Adventures is canceled, which is basically like a one episode per character anthology that would introduce a lot of lesser known characters to the main audience, so that they could basically be used in other products later on, probably movies and such. But obviously that's not happening now. Yeah. And he also said that Green Lantern series is likely canceled, including the movie. We got confirmation that the Snyderverse will officially end, and DC production will now focus on a new 10-year plan to start a Marvel-esque new DCEU, which is what they probably should have done a long time ago. But as long as it's not a Snyderverse-esque.
It's just going to be just as bad, though.
It probably will be.
So bad.
But it'll be good if they stop doing cocaine.
No, it won't. It'll still be bad.
And then Scoob, Holiday Haunt, has also been officially canceled. There are other cancellations suspected, but they have not been confirmed yet, so we can't report it just yet. They've also silently removed, quote, content being targeted for removal that tends to be shows and movies that are not performing on the service, but have an opportunity for partial write-off status. And this has solicited some fans to start a Twitter group called Is It Still on HBO Max? From this, we've gleaned that Moonshot, a 2022 science fiction romantic comedy, has been removed, and American Pickle, a 2020 Seth Rogen comedy drama, The Witches, a 2020 Robert Zemeckis comedy, Superintelligence, 2020 Ben Falcone rom-com, Charm City Kings, a 2020 drama based on the 2013 documentary 12 O'Clock Boys, which is produced by Will Smith. Lockdown, a 2021 Anne Hathaway rom-com and heist movie. And then among TV series, Vinyl 2016, which was created by Martin Scorsese and Mick Jagger. Mrs. Fletcher, which came out in 2019. Camping, which came out in 2018. Run, which came out in 2020. K-Street, which was originally a 2003 HBO series, which is really weird that they're removing that. Chad, 2021, and At Home with Amy Sedaris, which came out in 2017. And so that's basically all the cliff notes of what's going on, the chaos. It's basically coming out daily with new details and new information. So this is just the most up-to-date we have at the moment on August 7th. It's ridiculous.
It is. So to back up here to the main point of this, the merger of the HBO and Discovery Plus app, for me, I like this idea because I'm one of the like 10 people that actually subscribe to Discovery Plus, and I actually watch it on damn near daily basis because I love Josh Gates with every fiber of my being.
Yep.
And I will watch anything that Josh Gates does and puts on because the man is fucking hilarious. So I already subscribe to HBO Max. I subscribe to Disney Plus, or not Disney Plus. I subscribe to HBO Max. I subscribe to Discovery Plus. So combining them is good news for me because that's one less payment that I have to make every month. As long as they don't cut all of my Josh Gates shows, then I'll be happy. So
yeah, it's interesting. I agree with you. It's definitely better to have less of these streaming apps, just condense them, especially if you own a bunch of them. It makes no sense to have them separate.
My favorite meme going around right now is someone really should bundle all of these streaming apps and name it cable.
Well, that's what I was getting to. The problem is they keep putting these ad-based
and
subscriptions,
the ad-based subscriptions,
which
piss
just
me off.
Makes it cable.
If
Like you ruin the whole incentive of using a streaming
exactly.
app.
If I am paying you to use this app, I do not want to see your fucking ads.
That's entirely the point.
Yeah, that's the point of me paying you $15 a month or whatever, is so I don't have to watch your ads.
Well, it's extremely egregious with Hulu and Netflix because Hulu. They used to give you the option like, hey, you can watch it for a cheaper price, but you'll have ads. You'll just have to deal with them. Or you can pay the premium amount and never have to deal with ads ever. And that's what I did. And I loved it. I thought it was awesome because I would basically get live TV shows that I watch all the time, like The Daily Show.
But...
yeah. And then a few years later, like, well, psych. Yeah. You know, they got new leadership. And of course, the new leadership's greedy and wants to post higher profits. And then all their subscribers abandon ship because they're like, fuck this. And then they're like, why are we losing subscribers?
Nobody in the Disney company is greedy. Yeah. What are you talking about?
And then Netflix is starting to do the same shit.
Oh, fucking Netflix.
Yeah. And they're using ads for their own products. But still, it's like, I don't need ads for your shit. And like, before I watch something that I chose to watch, like, leave me alone. I pay for this. Not only that, and they're 3 times the price of any other streaming service right now.
Personally, for me, my Netflix subscription is hanging on by a fucking thread, and I'm like every day I'm like,
they keep losing subscribers, and there's a reason. And it's not that people are pirating it; it's that you keep charging more for shittier work.
Do I really want to? Is there anything on here that I'm actually willing to spend the now $17 a month on or whatever it is?
Yeah, it's getting closer and closer to $20.
I finished Stranger Things Volume 4. Volume 5's not coming out for another year. Do I really
do you really need to hold on to it?
Hold on to it?
For that
you gotta watch
year?
Sandman, but that's about it.
I still gotta watch the last episode of The Witcher. I still haven't watched the last episode of The Witcher for some reason. So I need to do that. I need to watch
the
Sandman.
first season or second season?
The second season.
Gotcha.
Like the last episode.
Yeah.
But I need to watch that, and I need to watch Sandman. And then after that, I'm like, I'm probably gonna cancel my subscription because
makes
fuck
sense.
This shit.
Yeah,
makes sense.
If you're not using it for anything, then why have it?
And quite frankly, they've had less and less other content as these other streaming services get going. Like Paramount's not giving them shit anymore. Yeah. Like Disney's not giving them shit anymore.
My kids watch like one show on Netflix as well, so I don't even keep it for them. They, the kids have Disney Plus and Paramount, and which has all the Nickelodeon shit, I think. Or is it either Paramount or Peacock? One of the two has all like the Nickelodeon shit and everything too now. So
yeah, they're not making a very compelling case. We'll talk more about Netflix shortly. Yeah. But yeah, going back to this, Warner Brothers Discovery chaos. I think as far as being a DC fan, I'm like, okay, makes sense. I'm glad that there is a plan now, whereas before there wasn't really a plan. They were just kind of shoving shit together.
There was always a plan.
However,
it wasn't a good plan, but they had a plan.
It would be very generous to call it a plan.
There was an idea that some people had in a cocaine bender.
There was a single director who they gave all the power to, and he was not a good director.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Scribbled their plan on a stripper's G-string at 2 o'clock in the morning one night.
And then they lost it when they snorted it off. Yeah. It's... All right, I'm not going to push that analogy any further.
We really don't need any more of that analogy. We really don't.
But yeah, I'm glad that there might be a little more focus going forward. I just don't know if this is the guy to do it. This new CEO, David Zaslav, because he seems to be alienating everybody that works for him. I imagine that once this whole merger is finalized between the various streaming apps and the 45 days day and date streaming of their newly released movies gets executed, I think there's going to be a lot of people that don't want to work for this company, because I mean, you just think about all the lost money from the people that created those projects that they removed from their services. Like, they can't claim that revenue anymore because you just removed it because you want to use it as a tax write-off. And now nobody can see that work ever again.
Well, here's the thing with that. The thing that's going to make this sound even more weird and interesting is that, okay, Batgirl, you could kind of see from like the very first promotional material that this was going to be bad.
Yeah.
Starting with that made-for CW costume that she had.
Oh my god, yes.
It was bad. I got to see a picture of what the Batman was going to look like.
Yeah, Michael Keaton.
And it was, ooh. Oh, God, it was awful.
I mean, they went full stiff neck Michael Keaton Batman.
They went full stiff neck, and then, like, I'm pretty sure the costume had a gut to it. It wasn't good, guys.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
But the other thing to take into account is those projects got canceled.
Yes.
And yet they haven't said not a damn thing about maybe shelving the Flash
movie?
Yeah. For some reason, that one...
It's insane.
That one is still scheduled to be released next year, and we'll see whether or not they fucking stick to that.
It's absolutely insane that that's the one project they won't admit to canceling.
But the thing that I find really interesting is that, considering that they have a new 10-year plan, because they're trying to be Marvel, what we haven't spoke about is what was going to be the central figure in their 10-year DC movie plan. And surprisingly enough, according to some of the things that I've read, the central figure is going to be Superman.
Which, as we talked about last episode, Black Adam in costume, in character.
Right. He got
booed
just for asking.
by the fans.
Like, it depends on which Superman. Boo! We still... we're living in a world where people still want Cavill to play that role after not having his own sequel for almost... I wasn't going to say a decade. I was going to say a little bit less than a decade, because like that first movie came out in 2014.
Yeah.
And it's 2022 right now.
I have a problem with an entire universe being run by the main character being damn near invincible in the first place, which Superman to me is a very boring character.
I think a lot of people would say that.
And that's because I'm scared of some fucking green rocks. I mean, other than that, you cannot base an interesting long-term commitment off of somebody who has no vulnerabilities. That's the whole thing that's the issue that I have with Captain Marvel too, as well, is the fact that she is the MCU Superman,
and there's nothing that really threatens her
exactly.
or gives her story stakes at all.
So I mean, that's why to take it to the MCU, that's why, the whole Endgame, we had to just kind of pretend that she was off here for she had other things to do.
She's busy. It's like she was off doing other shit because
she comes in 5 minutes, destroys an entire fucking fleet and basically half an army.
Right. It's like when she shows up, they're good.
Yeah.
The day is saved. She doesn't even have to do much.
It's the same thing with Superman. I mean, Superman is too powerful of a character to be interesting.
Well, I think the people that write Superman the best usually make him evil.
That's true.
Oh my god!
Yes.
And basically, we have a Homelander situation.
That's a trope that I'm sick to death of. Oh my god.
Which is what I was getting to.
Yes,
we're sick of seeing evil Superman.
It's overdone, but it is the only way Superman is interesting enough
Yeah.
to carry something like that.
For example, the best scene in the Justice League movie, which there's not a lot of good scenes in the Justice League movie, is when the Flash is running around and Superman's looking at him and keeping up while he's in his super speed mode or whatever, you know. That's the best moment because he's menacing and he's about to fucking kill you.
But you need a character, and I think that's one of the main reasons why the MCU was so successful is that they focused on more human characters first.
Because they had to.
Well, yes, they did.
Yeah.
They didn't really have a choice.
But my point is, that's why, and also if you want to stay with DC in that case, that's why the Batman movies were always better. Oh, okay, not always better. Sorry. Not always better.
I was gonna say you're gonna need to walk at least a little bit of that back.
Not always better. Statistically, you have
more times better than not.
More good Batman movies than you have good Superman movies.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I actually kind of liked, before it actually came out and we saw it, I actually liked what the apparent intent of the trailer of Man of Steel was setting up for.
Yeah.
Like, they were setting up where there's going to be some moral quandaries here. Like, his weakness isn't that, you know, he has to deal with the Green Rock. His weakness is, like, how his family has to deal with all of this and how he has to live his life on this planet with people that are, you know, like, paperweights to him, you know. And like there's a sign or this moment in the trailer I remember, it's more along the lines where he's, you know, asking his dad, Pa Kent, you know, should I have just let them drown? And he goes, I don't know, maybe, you know, because it's that serious, you know. They don't want to expose him, but they also realize, you know, hey, you know, obviously letting a bus filled with kids drown is probably not the right answer either.
Right.
You know. So there was some moral ambiguity that I thought they were going to focus more on at the personal level.
And then they just made it an entire fucking town.
Yeah, they just made it a big CG, you know, fist fight where he kills millions of people.
WB and DC are wont to do.
Yes, they haphazardly just threw in a damn near 9/11 corollary.
And let's be honest, that's one of the things that I was looking forward to in what I thought was going to be more of the plot of Batman versus Superman was the fallout of that. And then it, again, degraded into a giant CG fucking clusterfuck.
Yeah.
If they would have focused more on the damage that was caused by that and the repercussions of that, it would have made it a better movie. But instead, they were like, oh, we're going to put Batman in a metal suit with some green rocks on a stick, and he's going to fucking attack Superman because of reasons.
Which, again, is stupid, because, like, Superman can throw something and you're dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know.
Superman can kill you
He can
from
blow
literally
you over.
a mile away.
I find it very indicative of them having absolutely no plan when they killed Henry Cavill Superman in his second movie.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, like
and
he's
a
not
totally
very...
unnecessary third act, by the way, that had nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
Right, the unnecessary third act CGI monster that's just there to... I mean, we gotta kill Superman. Everyone keeps complaining about him having no vulnerability, so we gotta show that we're big boys and we're serious. We're gonna kill him.
But Marvel's gonna do Civil War, so we got to do something bigger and better.
Well, I think I'm sure
every
you guys,
time.
I'm sure you guys remember the historical context of this. Like, Marvel had already run away with the bank at this point, and DC was playing catch up. That's the simplest way to put it. They were playing catch up, and they were going way too fast, and they were making these ridiculously long, overly narrated movies that had just too much shit going on, and they couldn't focus on anything, and they just ruined everything they made.
And they made it all, they're like, well, we're just going to go bigger and better, and we're going to do 10 times as much CG and all this shit. And they missed the main aspect that made the MCU work, which was, more times than not, concise, cohesive writing.
Character-based stories where you can actually tell what this character's about and the stakes that they have to deal with, as
Not,
opposed to just
let's just blow everything up.
Yeah.
I would everything up.
Yeah, if it, obviously no one's listening to us from Warner Brothers Discovery, but on the very off chance that somebody with sense is listening, if you look at DC's movies, generally speaking, they do best when they're working with small budgets and they're challenged to make the best out of a small budget movie. You know, Emery and I obviously has some issues with the plot of the Batman.
Yep.
But it's pretty well regarded. And there's a reason for that. It's because they weren't drowning everything in CG. They had to manage with a budget and a staff. The Joker's another example. That movie, they tried to literally kill it by giving it too small of a budget because they didn't want to make it. And then it ended up being the best product they've made in probably 10 years.
Absolutely.
I still can't believe The Joker is a billion-dollar movie.
Yeah. And now they're going to ruin it by giving a big budget to Joker 2 and making it a musical with Lady Gaga. Yeah, which is a later news item. But
well, we're going to see how good or bad that movie is.
I agree with you to a point of the smaller budgets make better films for in general.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a limit to that.
We're
not
is a
talking
limit.
Kevin Smith
Yeah.
budget. You know.
But typically, because you're not overdoing the CGI, you're not overdoing the let's blow everything up aspect of shit. And
that means you got to make the human moments more important.
Exactly. And that's one of the main reasons why I think that the Arrowverse shows did DC better than Warner Brothers could do DC, is because of the fact that the lower budget and the fact that they focused on the characters and the interaction of the characters and not on let's see people blow up an entire city.
Yeah,
for the first few seasons of each show.
Yes, for the first few seasons. Granted, I stopped watching all of the Arrowverse shows after the series finale of Arrow, and when they did the whole let's combine all the multiverses into one fucking universe thing.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you know the Flash is still going? They're on their last season right now? Their final season?
I think I did know that, yes.
That's insane to me.
That's wow.
That show's gone so long.
Yeah.
I left that show so long ago.
Like I said, I stopped.
It's like The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
I
stopped
the
the same
so
time. I stopped that show the same time I stopped all the other ones, which was right after the big final crossover event when they ended Arrow.
Yeah, I mean, that's about as good a time as any to kind of dip out. Although I will say, in the defense of the show Superman and Lois, that one is actually, if you're going to make a show about Superman, that is how you do it.
The first thing I thought of was that Lois and Clark,
Lois and
the
Clark.
New Adventures of Superman from the 90s.
With fucking Dean Cain.
Who, talk about an actor that took a walk off a fucking map. I don't know if you've seen any of the shit he's
up to lately?
Yeah, he's fucking batshit crazy now.
Yeah, he's gone off, I'll say that much. But Superman and Lois, it's actually a pretty good show.
Is that the same Superman they used in the Supergirl show?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Yes, he is.
And
that's another weird story of WB's genius taking it off of one canceled network and then shoving it into another. And then we're going to make these the same universe for reasons.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. You know, the whole let's jam we start with all these different multiverses and then we'll jam them because an event happened and now they're all in the same fucking universe.
They're all together, and
Convenient.
for some reason we keep throwing Diggle wherever the fuck we want.
Diggle! Oh, my boy Diggle.
It's like, wait, Diggle, what are you doing here?
I mean, to a limited extent, I am thankful for their shenanigans because we would have never seen Matt Ryan's Constantine again.
Yes. Oh my
yes.
God, Matt Ryan's Constantine.
Perfection.
That NBC show was so good. I should not have been canceled, but
yeah.
I digress.
Hashtag save Constantine.
Hashtag save Constantine.
He's learning.
Yes.
He's on board.
Another one.
But yeah, moving on to more streaming chaos news. We got some news from Netflix. Netflix has been ordered to pay $42 million in unpaid writers' residuals following a lawsuit from the Writers Guild of America. And Netflix will also be creating 2 more comic-based projects starring Idris Elba. One will be called Bang, which is based on the Dark Horse comic of the same name that came out in 2020, and it will be a film. It's basically about a secret agent that has to take down this terrorist cult, and of course, terrorist cult means supernatural shenanigans.
Of course.
And
As
mine,
you do.
MGMT, which obviously management, will be pitched as a TV show. This is also a Dark Horse comic featuring a young woman who becomes involved in a government project called Mind Management, which gives her basically various telepathic powers.
Moving shit with your mind.
Yeah. So cool to see there's more comic book projects coming, but I don't know about the choice.
How many, real quick, how many different storylines have been taken by evil corporation gives people telekinetic powers?
I mean, it's a pretty safe well to draw from.
Yeah.
Well, what's ironic is the writer from Stranger Things will be the writer for the show.
Fantastic. To be honest, I wasn't even thinking of Stranger Things until you mentioned it, but yes,
Yeah.
That is another evil corporation
So,
gives.
They found the perfect writer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure they auditioned him by saying, "You've done this before, right?"
So, just some interesting stuff. Obviously, with the writers info, we were just talking about writers and actors and actresses and directors and producers that probably don't want to work for Warner Brothers
Right.
Discovery anymore.
Hey, here's a job for you.
Well, you thought you might go to Netflix. Well, they're not paying anybody
Yeah.
either, unless they're forced to do so by a legal team.
Yeah, for the love of
I'm
God.
waiting for the Netflix bubble to finally burst. I mean, Netflix has been on top for way too fucking long.
They need to get rid of that CEO. Their
Yeah.
current CEO is terrible.
And-
his public relations is terrible.
Netflix has done a lot. I mean, let's be honest, there wouldn't be streaming platforms if it wasn't for Netflix, at least not in the capacity that they are right now.
Yeah.
Netflix was the grandfather of all streaming services.
The pioneer, if you will.
However, there's times when the baton needs to be passed. And for Netflix, that time was probably 7 years ago.
I will say this. Pay your fucking writers.
Yeah,
For the
you
love of God.
You
the
don't
most
have
important part.
anything
Right.
if you don't have writers.
You literally don't.
Now, I was reading into some of the details, and you probably wouldn't cry a river over the amount of money that they
Oh,
were being paid originally. I mean, we're talking about one writer getting paid over $800,000 for
Yeah.
his work, and then it got increased to $1.2 million for a single project after this lawsuit. So there's some bargaining chips in there, I would say.
They're not hurting, but again, you still have to pay them what they're worth.
Yeah,
Regardless if it is somebody making 40 grand a year or 400 grand a year,
Yeah.
or 4 million a year, you still have to pay them what they are worth, especially when it is something as baseline to your company as writing the fucking content for your company.
Yeah. And to give you a little context, they were basically going to like foreign writers guild analogous people and negotiating lower rates with them. And then once they had established those
Fantastic.
lower rates with the overseas writers, they would
You tried to do that.
they
same
would write
shit
it into the
back here.
contracts of the domestic ones.
Be like, hey, we got this for cheaper, so
Yeah. And they didn't get a choice, which is why
Right.
they sued. So it's a whole thing. Feel free to look into it.
some bullshit.
Yeah. And obviously, both of these companies are just spiraling in the toilet bowl. They need to figure something out or get new
Right.
leadership because they're just alienating everybody. And it's going to eventually lead to a Disney Plus monopoly where
Yes, it will,
they own
because
everything. They've devoured
Disney,
everything.
I mean, let's be honest, Disney already owns half of the world, so it's
Yeah.
only a matter of time before they end up owning all of this too.
yeah. And we like Disney right now. We won't like Disney if they own everything.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no. There's got to be competition because if excellence in entertainment is going to be...
And not just competition. It has to be
Yeah.
competent
Oh,
competition.
Right, that's the entire point. Like the entire point of not having a monopoly is that you have an option to choose who
Yes.
does it the best, and if someone is doing it better, them being available for you to procure what they have over the other one, which is not as good.
Yeah.
That's the entire point.
Speaking of being happy with Disney and Disney doing things correctly, have you guys watched the Andor trailer yet?
I did see a screenshot
have.
where he had an AK-47 in his hand.
Yeah, there was that. That I did notice that the first walk.
It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was like, I really hope that was a stand-in that they just haven't CG'd yet.
We'll find
but
out.
probably
Yeah.
not. Let's be honest.
Oh,
But-
God.
Watch that Andor trailer. I know you're like anti everything Star Wars right now.
Yeah, I've given up
but-
on him.
Dude, you need to watch the shows. Fuck the movies.
I'm sure
then
it's great.
The
I'm
shows
sure
are
it's great. I'm
fantastic.
glad you enjoy it.
All of the shows, fantastic. But
I've
Ryan
seen
Johnson
the trailer.
ruined it for me. I can't do it.
Yeah. I've seen the trailer, and I do have to say, they cut a mean trailer.
yeah, that trailer looks bad in the best possible way, and I mean
Oh.
that.
Yeah, it looks.
So I don't
it
even
looks badass.
I don't even know who Andor is. Who is Andor?
Did you watch Rogue One?
Yes.
Andor was the captain of Rogue. He was the guy with the accent who was the main
Okay.
Yeah,
pilot.
Yeah. His name is Cassian.
Cassian
Andor.
Andor. It is the prequel to Rogue One.
Okay.
So this is about how this series follows Andor when he is entering into the rebellion, or I guess not really entering into the rebellion, because as he says, he was part of it since he was a child, but it's his like going from, just like guerrilla warfare to actually becoming like a strategic officer of the rebellion.
Gotcha.
So it's very much a spy behind the scenes action thriller, and if it is half as good as that trailer, that show's going to be fucking fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah. At the very least, I'm gonna check it out because it's gonna be on Disney Plus, and I've got it.
I
so
hope it is an
fucking why not?
AK-47. I hope he's just spraying lead just on all these guys,
Yeah, the one dude standing there with the AK-47. I was like,
It's not even a laser
No.
like rifle or blaster or anything
Well, I find
like that. It's just bullets.
I just find it
Why
extra
not?
hilarious because it's, Star Wars is known for having such a great set design,
Sure.
and all their props and stuff being like just legendary, and then they just got a spray painted AK-47.
no, it's not even spray. If it looks like they just pulled a fucking AK-47 off the rack and they're just sitting there fucking holding it. But I'm telling you, I know you're disappointed by Ryan Johnson and all that shit, but you've got to check the shows out because Dave Filoni and
Dave Filoni and
John Favreau. Thank
Yeah,
you. My brain stopped working. Dave Filoni and John Favreau should be in charge of everything.
Absolutely.
They fixed
Okay.
they fixed Star Wars. Let's just put it that way. Let's be honest. They fixed what Ryan Johnson and to an extent J.J. Abrams broke.
The Mandalorian.
Absolutely.
You should watch The Mandalorian if for no other reason than that is probably and I can't believe I'm saying this, that is the greatest piece of Star Wars
Yes.
fiction I have ever seen in my life.
It is. I mean, it is the good, the bad, and the ugly in space.
Absolutely.
It's a space western, and it's
Alright.
fantastic.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
And just watch episode 1 and see if it's right for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I did want to see Ewan McGregor again, so.
And yeah,
No.
Obi-Wan is.
Uh-oh. Concerns, Emery.
Okay, that last episode is really good, but the lead up to it was fucking silly.
I'm going to disagree with you. I enjoyed all of Obi-Wan.
Ding, ding. Fight.
Including the very Looney Tunes attempt at trying to hide a child inside of a trench coat.
Okay, but the Force.
But the Force, though.
But the Force, though.
Okay.
Mandalorians.
Okay.
What do they call them? Thetans?
What?
The Scientologists call them Thetans. What do they,
Thetans.
Oh, God.
what do they call them in Star Wars?
Metachlorians.
Metachlorians, that's what.
Metachlorians.
Said Mandalorians.
A bunch of tiny little people with helmets driving through your fucking veins and shit.
When it comes to everything having to do with Obi-Wan, I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to show what happens when you lose the war, no matter how much on the right you were.
Yeah.
And that works towards the very end. At the very beginning, he's just a sad old man dealing with another sad old man's precocious child.
And that's why it's good, is the fact that you take this, it's the whole arc from the prequels, and you take this man who was one of the greatest warriors of all time, one of the greatest Jedis of all time, if not the greatest Jedi of all time, and you see his ability to lose everything he has and still be a good person and still, take that opportunity to cut himself off completely just to make sure that this kid is okay.
Now, that as a concept works, like, it works on paper. But if you want me to watch a scene of Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers being outran by, like, what looks like an 8-year-old who keeps claiming that they're 10.
I mean, I think any 8-year-old could outrun Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers at this point with the amount of drugs that man has done.
Did he have the dick sock on?
No, there was no dick sock.
This was a family
old
show.
Man Flea chasing a small child with his dick sock on, plucking his bass at the same time.
Oh, is that what we're calling it?
Phrasing.
Phrasing. Oh my God.
Shit.
Okay. I get the idea. I get what they were trying to do with it, but there was a lot of that show that just didn't work for me.
See, all in all, I'm going to disagree with you on this. I enjoyed Obi-Wan. I thought it was fantastic. And the things that they did in Obi-Wan that actually kind of made shit in the original series make more sense. Like, without getting into too many spoiler warnings.
Yeah.
There were aspects that they added in that I think they specifically were like, this scene in the original movie makes no fucking sense, so let's put some context behind it. Like, hey, my whole planet just blew up, but you lost your mentor you've known for 24 hours. Here, let me comfort you, and we're all sad, even though everyone on my fucking planet just died. But then you get a little bit of context behind that, and then it's like, it makes a little bit more sense that she would be sad in that aspect.
Yeah, I think one of the things that...
Why she named her child after some random man she never actually met.
Oh my God. Okay. The last thing I'm going to harp on about the Obi-Wan series. The encounters between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. Done well.
Yes.
Done fantastically. They probably could have spent some money on making Hayden Christensen look a little younger.
Oh, they could have, with the CGI that they did on the fake Mark Hamill and stuff like that. They could have made Padawan Hayden Christensen not look 40.
Yeah, yes, that would have helped. Another thing that would have helped would have been. Look, we gotta talk about Reva. Reva is a good idea on paper, once again, but in execution, how do you get stabbed that many times in the gut and not even have cybernetics replacing it?
But revenge is what was the line?
Revenge is a dish best
no
served. Oh
no, the revenge is fuck, I can't remember what he said at the end there. Basically strikes or is a great motivator to stay alive or something like that.
Yeah, I will say, kind of mixing both of your points together, my brother Dan is probably the biggest Star Wars fanboy that I know besides you. And his sentiment was more in line with Emery until the last two episodes. So I kind of think there's the last one episode or 2 episodes. There's
Those
a little
last
bit
2
of
episodes
revisionist
pick up
history.
a
I mean,
lot.
over
yes,
the
they're-
first 4.
yeah, they're-
because
the-
they were so good.
The last 2 episodes were fantastic, and they definitely were the highlight of the season. However, I did enjoy the season through its entirety.
Okay.
I do like all of the things that Filoni and Favreau are doing to bring in the animated series into canon.
Oh my
like
God,
the Inquisitors
Just
and all
give
of that.
me live action The Bad Batch. That's all I want.
Mhm.
I
But-
just want the A-team in this entire universe.
I am among the group of people on the internet that, while I understand there is a difference in look between live action and animation, the live action Grand Inquisitor was oh my god, that was not good. That was
yes,
not
the most
good.
obvious bald cap in cinema history.
You guys are not selling this very well for wanting to recruit me back into this universe.
Again, Mandalorian. Just start with the Mandalorian.
Just watch The
Okay.
Mandalorian.
I'll
and
watch
go from
Mandalorian.
there.
It goes
All right.
like, in my ranking of live action Star Wars television shows, it's like The Mandalorian is like 110%. Obi-Wan is like 75 to 80. And then Boba Fett is split from the first 3 episodes are like a 35, and then the last 3 episodes are like probably about a 75%.
Okay. Do I have to do a lot of homework to
No.
enjoy this?
No, not
Okay.
at all.
All right.
Mandalorian, you need 0 homework at all. You can go into it completely blind, never watching a single Star Wars thing ever. Boba Fett, also about the same. As long as you watch The Mandalorian, you can watch Boba Fett. Obi-Wan, it helps a lot to have watched Rebels.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a kind of major character from Rebels that shows up.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I'll look into it. I always tell myself I don't care about Star Wars unless there's Jedis involved. But then, I mean, I know Luke shows up, but
There's Jedis involved in quite a bit of it.
but then my
yeah.
favorite movie is Rogue One. So
Yeah.
like, there's
I mean,
there's
Rogue,
one
let's
Jedi
be
at the
honest.
very end.
Yeah, let's be honest. Rogue
Sith.
One was one of the best Star Wars movies, hands down.
It's my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, people say Empire Strikes Back, and I would have agreed with them until
until
Rogue
Rogue
One.
One came out.
For me,
Yeah.
it's a toss up. Depends on how I'm feeling that day. It's either still going to be Empire or Rogue One.
Yeah.
But they are a extremely close 1 and 2.
All right.
They're just so good.
All right. You've convinced me. So next up on the news, Seth Rogen has revealed the official title for next year's Ninja Turtle project. It will be called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, and is slated to be the first of several exclusive movies for Paramount Plus. So, have you guys seen the logo?
Yes,
You excited?
I did
You hyped?
actually see the logo. I mean, I'm an '80s kid, so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was my shit back then. But
I'll be hyped after I see what these turtles look like, because
Michael Bay scarred you for life.
almost.
Nostrils. I didn't need them.
Nose holes. We have to know how they
It's
breathe.
okay. It's just a mask.
Yeah, because that strip of cloth is what was freaking me out, you asshole.
Classic Mikey.
Oh my god. He's so not self-aware even a little. No, it was actually the most recent animated version. The Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
It's brand new. It just came out.
It kind of just came out, and it
All right.
has a very...
Google image search.
It has
It's
a very
cartoon.
Dexter's Lab art style to it.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is
this-
like, it's a mismatch.
Yeah.
You don't do that to the turtles.
Well, this project supposedly is going to be like a CG style animation, kind of like, Into the Spider-Verse or something like that, probably.
That
No,
actually reminds me.
I don't know if that's confirmed, but
Is
I know
this
that's
it?
been rumored.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's awful.
Yeah, it looks bad. The Rise of the Ninja Turtles looks bad.
Why is
The Mutant Mayhem on the other hand,
Why is Mikey so small?
they never know
He's
what
just
to
a
do with
small
Mikey.
boy. And Donatello has like purple tattoos. What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
And Raph is like on steroids.
It's like a hipster street gang.
Yeah. Here's the thing with the Turtles. There are certain takes that work and certain takes that don't. The Nickelodeon series that they had before Rise of the Turtles, which was all CG, is actually kind of my favorite.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. I didn't expect them to nail the turtles that well with the CGI turtles.
As somebody who played in your home D&D game, I know how much you love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
Considering you brought them into your...
I brought one.
The only reason you only brought one is because the game stopped playing after you brought in the one. Otherwise, I can guarantee you there would have been at least three more, and possibly a rat.
Shush. Anyways, I'm holding out hope, if for no other reason than they haven't really shown us what they look like yet, but the last depiction kind of soured them for me a little bit.
Yeah. I'm just laughing over here because of the one of the captions for one of these images is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Spanish, which I had never seen before. Las Tortugas Ninja Temporada.
Exciting.
That's hilarious.
Arriba.
I think that's Spanish. I don't know because I don't.
It's definitely
it.
Spanish. Tortuga is Spanish for turtle.
Nailed it.
So the town in Pirates of the Caribbean is literally called
Turtle Island.
Yeah, it's Turtle Island. Yep. The Isle of Tortuga.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah. All right. Anyway.
It sounds way cooler in Spanish when you don't understand what it means.
But I don't know. I haven't... like you, I will be interested to see what these Tortugas look like.
Mm-hmm.
But
let's not make this a thing.
It already is.
I mean, it's too late, man.
I mean, we already have Edgy the Hedgy and
Los Tortugas.
Los Tortugas.
Second verse, same as the first. Anyway, but yeah, I never saw this bullshit ass one that you were just talking about until right now. Mm-hmm. For me, it's the Michael Bay that gives me nightmares.
The nose holes.
The Michael Bay.
Terrifying.
What'd you do to my boy?
Yeah, they're horrifying. I mean, I am one of the few people that probably reads the comics fairly regularly, and the turtles in the comics are way more menacing.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
It's a much darker take on the turtles, the original take. Which most people are completely unaware because they know them from the TV shows and the movies where they're much friendlier and
goofier
happier.
And
everything. Exactly.
No, they were not.
Turtle Mania.
Absolutely not.
And I know Seth Rogen absolutely won't do this because he's, fat, happy stoner guy. And that's what he makes, fat, happy stoner products.
I want to see a dark, edgy Turtles.
That's what I was getting to. Yeah. I just once. It's just to see if it works.
It's funny you mention that. If you haven't read the series, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin.
Oh yeah. I haven't read all of it, but I know enough about it.
It's probably the darkest take I've ever seen.
It is the darkest timeline.
Yeah.
It's like literally the darkest. It's like when they say Last Ronin, we're saying there's only one turtle left, and we hope he gets the job done.
Yeah.
The rest returned into turtle soup.
Yeah. But
very sad. Tortuga soup.
Tortuga soup.
La sopa de tortuga.
Oh no.
But yeah, let's get...
I won't eat that.
Let's get a nice, dark, edgy Turtles franchise in either animated form as a series or even a couple movies or something. Just not Michael Bay. Anybody but Michael fucking Bay.
Yeah, like I want to see someone handle the Turtles and not be afraid to, like in the comics, Kill Shredder episode fucking 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's this new product from Seth Rogen is probably going to be good. He's talked about in the interviews how he wants to bring the focus back to them being teenaged Mutant Ninja Turtles, and AKA being fun.
Stoner comedy.
Yeah, probably.
Turtles, you know.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I'm sure
Mikey will absolutely be a stoner. I guarantee
I'm
it
sure
right
it
now.
will be enjoyable.
They damn near did that in the Nickelodeon one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely would enjoy a
My-
darker take in
speaking
some
of-
sort of fashion.
Speaking
yeah.
of original Ninja Turtles, so my brother has the rule book for the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TTRPG.
What?
Yeah. So we might have to one-shot Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TTRPG game on the stream sometime.
I'm fucking here for it.
Yes.
All right. So maybe a future stream to look forward
Future
to.
stream to look forward to. Dark,
yeah.
edgy 80s style. I'm sure the rules will not be completely and totally convoluted and clusterfucky.
Yeah, and I'm sure the story won't be basically a rip from Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. Cross your fingers.
Next up on the news, it's official. Lady Gaga has released a teaser for her entry into the Joker sequel, now titled Joker 2, Folie à Deux, which is a French term for a delusion shared by two people. It seems almost certain it will indeed have musical pieces, if
Kill it
not
with fire.
being one big musical.
Kill it with fire. Kill it with fire.
The teaser features an animated silhouette dancing, and with "I'm in Heaven" playing in the background instrumentally. So
Kill it with fire.
it's gonna be bad.
Mm.
If they pull this off, I will be incredibly impressed.
like
But
you talked
I don't
about-
think it's gonna happen.
Like you talked about earlier in the stream, it's you take your best product that you've done in over 10 years and blow it.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly what's happening right
Yeah.
now.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm still going to hold out hope because when the Joker was announced, I'm pretty sure everyone was like, "What the fuck are we doing with a Joker movie that doesn't have Batman in it?"
Yeah, but a musical with Lady Gaga. Please no.
I mean, even if it's not a musical, Lady Gaga's not known for her amazing acting. And the Joker is known for its amazing acting.
It's known for its amazing acting, but Lady Gaga did do some acting pieces recently with the what was it?
the fashion thing,
It was
which did not look good. I don't know.
it was a biopic. Oh no, wait! I'm gonna take that one back because hilariously, against all odds, in that fashion movie that she did with Adam Driver and various other actors in it, Jared Leto.
Oh,
okay.
God.
Against
I was
all
talking.
odds.
Okay. All right.
Against
right.
all odds, Jared Leto
All right.
was the good
All right.
part of
All
the
right.
movie that was supposed to make her look good.
I
All
don't
right.
believe you.
I was talking to my wife about Jared Leto literally yesterday.
Oh yeah.
And how this man, Jared Leto, I love your music. 30 Seconds to Mars is a great band. Please stop acting. Please, for the love of God, stop acting. We were literally looking through his filmography on IMDb the other day, and we're like, well, this movie was terrible. This movie was terrible. Yeah, this movie was terrible too. I cannot honestly tell you the last good role Jared Leto had. Maybe Fight Club, because he didn't fucking say anything.
Well, I think the thing that makes it most egregious is that he's one of those method actors where he just terrorizes everybody on set the entire time because he has to be in character all the time, like Jim Carrey levels of
Yeah.
neuroticism.
I heard the things about Suicide Squad and the bullshit that he would do to
he was
the characters.
sending
and,
like used condoms
and, like,
dead
dead mice
rats
and stuff. Yeah.
to his co-actors, actresses.
no.
That just
Jared Leto, please, for the love of God, stop fucking acting and just focus on 30 Seconds to Mars, because your music is great. Your acting is not.
Oh my god, I can't believe I'm gonna defend Jared Leto.
I can't believe you're going to defend Jared Leto either.
Well, before you defend Jared Leto,
Okay.
you're only allowed to begin one way.
How's that?
It's Morbin time. All right, proceed.
Failed Sony picture aside. Okay,
It's so nice we did it twice.
Double failed Sony picture aside. He still has at least 3 movies that have propelled him into an acting career that will never go away. The first one, Requiem for a Dream.
Okay.
Mind you, it's depressing to the point where, as a non-smoker, I felt like I had to have a cigarette afterwards.
Number 2?
It's still good. Number 2...
You had to think about it. There's no number 2.
No, there is a number 2. There's definitely a number 2. And
there is number 2.
And I hate that it's the what's that movie? Alexander?
Oh God.
Yeah.
No. Okay, number 3.
Number 3.
He's stretching, man.
I have a theory.
Okay.
Number 3. It's not a Darren Aronofsky film, and it's definitely not Blade Runner. It is the Dallas Buyers Club.
Okay.
Literally got an Oscar for that one.
Okay. Fair. However, out of your 3 redemptions, none of them came out in the past decade and a half.
Dallas Buyers Club.
What year was Dallas Buyers Club?
I'm pretty sure that was like 2017 or 2018.
Are we gonna have to verify this?
I think we might have to verify this.
All right. Well, I'll take your word for it.
It's like Dallas Buyers Club.
Looks
with
like he's on
him and Matthew McConaughey.
2013.
2013.
Dallas Buyers Club was 2013. So
That's still less than a decade.
9 years ago. So out of his 3 redemption movies, the most recent one was 9 fucking years ago.
Did he not get murdered in American Psycho?
He did.
He did. Yeah, he was in American Psycho.
That's the one role I'll give him. And he got murdered.
Like I said, I'll give him Fight Club because he didn't fucking say anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I only saw one of the 3
And
movies you
Edward
named.
Norton beat the shit out of it.
Yeah,
So
I saw Alexander, and it was so long and boring. I forget
I
half of it.
I didn't even watch Alexander because it was so terrible.
Redemption.
Yeah, and that's your redemption arc. Your redemption arc is 3 movies, one of which was notably probably one of the worst movies ever made. And almost as big of a flop as Waterworld when it comes to studio budgets.
The budget ballooned for that one.
Yeah, and the fact that the most recent one was 9 years ago. I'm going to reiterate my point. Jared Leto, stop fucking acting and just focus on 30 Seconds to Mars, please.
I don't want him to do that because he's turning that into a cult. As in the kind of thing that Ezra Miller really wishes he could replicate right now. It's bad. Guys, it's bad.
I don't know. I'm very forgiving of people that are in bad products.
The same actor representing the worst version of a DC character and the worst version of a Marvel character.
Yeah.
Played by one actor.
Yeah.
If he wasn't an asshole, I would probably be forgiving and much more lenient with him. But he's an asshole. He's a notorious asshole. Yeah. That's what makes it irredeemable.
It really doesn't help that he's kind of one of the worst.
Yeah. Ugh. So, moving on. DC's
fuck you, Jared Leto.
You're gonna cut a lot of shit.
Jared, I tried.
We don't need Joker 2. And Jared, if you're listening, please send some fan art to Emery Saunders here, your biggest fan.
Of the very first album, and by that I mean the first album, the self-titled album.
Can you please submit some Edgy the Hedgy fan art autographed by yours truly for your biggest fan, Emery Saunders?
God damn it!
We'll post it right behind his head.
If this literally happened, it would be the greatest thing of all time.
We'll move the Aquaman and put him right there.
If that happened, I would laugh, cry, and try not to pee myself.
There's a lot of conflicting emotions in that sentence.
Yes. Conflicted is that's always going to be like where I'm at with Jared Leto, because he has some good things, and
I like the music. I like him as a musician. I think he has a lot of musical talent. I just wish his musical talent would like step over into acting talent. Or he would stop acting and just focus on the thing that he is actually good at, which is making music.
Wasn't he an actor first?
Yes, he was. That's the sad part.
Yeah.
Well, no.
All right.
It's true.
We got to move on.
Yep.
We can only shit on one person for so long.
Can we now? Are you sure about that?
Well, I'll correct myself. I can only edit so much of us shitting on one person for so long. Next up on the news, the comic company Valiant Entertainment has reported multiple layoffs and resignations, and the future for the company seems very uncertain.
They'll be bought out by Disney.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, they're small enough, and Disney's got the money.
Yeah, so they were started up by a group of former Marvel writers and artists, and basically got purchased by Acclaim in the mid-90s. And then Acclaim, as we all know, went bankrupt and had to sell off everything. And then they're held by like two different shareholders. One's like one big Chinese media conglomerate, and then another one's like a separate studio. And then obviously they tried to get Sony to make them a competent movie, probably to save their asses from bankruptcy, and then Sony fucking...
And what movie was that?
That was Bloodshot. Yeah. And it was
I'm
starring
sorry,
Vin Diesel.
Oh.
And it was terrible.
Oh.
It looked terrible. It was terrible.
It was.
They had fat Vin Diesel playing this lead superhero character to start your new franchise with.
Off-brand nanomachine
Covered
style.
in terrible CG.
Yeah, they tried to make Wolverine.
Yeah.
They tried to make bullshit Wolverine, and it didn't fucking work.
And so Valiant has notoriously been releasing less and less and less in terms of comic books. They obviously had a hard time with the pandemic, like all comic companies did, and they didn't quite have the same notoriety and coffers to fall back on, like, say, a DC, a Marvel, and even an Image or Dark Horse.
Yeah.
So they've obviously had a really bad time, and these layoffs seem to be the death knell for Valiant.
Yeah.
I would imagine a competent company will probably purchase them and use them. If I was Netflix, I would probably be looking at this. Obviously, Disney wants to devour everything, so they'll probably own it eventually.
Yeah, Netflix getting their hands on Valiant would be interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, and this isn't like the first time some bigger company has purchased them or purchased another comic company like DC. Got Vertigo and all that stuff, and then I think Marvel took over. Was it Top Cow for a while? Or
I think that
they're at Image now.
Top Cow in like the Malibu universe.
So
back in the 90s.
I have a correction for you.
Okay, hit me with it.
Bloodshot actually was not their first movie. There is actually a Valiant cinematic universe.
What?
There's two of them?
Three.
What?
Their first movie was in August of 2017. Dave Bautista starred in Gilad the Eternal Warrior.
What?
Why would they start with him?
Then they had a movie in 2018 called Ninjak.
What?
They made that a movie?
Yeah, with Michael Rowe.
What?
And then
No wonder nobody saw it. Nobody knew it existed.
and then Bloodshot came out in 2020.
And
yeah,
then they
Bloodshot's
did
the one
Bloodshot.
I knew.
Yeah.
And even
Like,
that
the other
trailer
one
The
was-
fact that they had Dave Bautista as their hit breakout actor for their cinematic universe should explain a little bit about the quality of this company.
Wait, when did that one come out?
2017.
were they all done by Sony?
I don't know. Hold on.
Are you telling me they got him like after
Breaking
he-
news here.
Yeah, it was after he was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know the Vin Diesel one was Sony, but
That's
that's a horrible track record if they were all Sony products. Sony, you got to do something different with your movie studios.
Okay, I don't even... Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, the Gilad movie never actually came out.
Okay,
It
that
was-
explains a lot.
It was announced in 2017 with
Okay.
Dave Bautista, and then the 2020 movie Bloodshot was meant to be the first of several films taking place in the shared Valiant cinematic universe. After largely poor reception to the film, and with many studios projects on hold or rescheduled due to COVID-19, the status of Eternal Warrior movie is unclear.
It ain't coming.
But in 2018,
Breaking news.
Bat in the Sun made a live-action Ninjak web series titled Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe,
Okay.
and that was the
Oh,
actual
yeah.
first Valiant cinematic universe.
Okay.
I've
edition.
actually seen that.
Was it like a YouTube style
I mean,
YouTube channel?
it was about
fiction?
about as expensive as like a direct to YouTube like comic book property gets.
Gotcha.
And this is considering that they featured Exo Manowar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Exo Manowar is probably one of the people they should have led with.
Yes. If
You
you're
would
gonna
think.
if you're gonna lead with any character, you use the Iron Man equivalent.
Yeah, so that's interesting. But yeah, I'm discouraged to see that Valiant just fell so firmly on its face in so many ways. But I'm encouraged that somebody competent will come along and make something relevant out of it. Because there's a lot of material there. I mean, it's been around for, 30 years, 30
Disney
plus
will
years.
buy them and pull them into the MCU.
And still not give you the X-Men.
And
Still
still
not give you the-
Yeah! It hurts.
We're gonna have an Exo Manowar before we have a fucking Wolverine.
I will flip every table in the fucking universe.
I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Next up in the news, Mark Millar has slashed the prices of his upcoming comic book Nightclub to $1.99 per issue, a price that is more in line with prices about 2 decades ago. In an interview, Mark expressed concern that the greed of the big publishers has led to comics outpricing their fan base, and expressed the negative value of paying $4 to $5 for 10 minutes of entertainment. He hopes that by doing this, other companies will follow his lead. So I thought this was really encouraging. The article I got this from, I think it was Bleeding Cool that published it, but the article I read actually showed the projection of inflation versus the cost of comic books over the years, and it's like the cost of a comic book has way outpaced inflation many times over. And I'm sure there's some argument to be made that they're using more expensive paper. This was actually kind of led by Jim Lee, who switched over to the more resistant kind of plastic feeling smooth paper that you see in comics and modern comics today, and better cover materials that last longer and are more sturdy. Before, they used to be kind of almost like newspaper, real thin newspaper as far as the paper quality and the ink. So
Do you see the care on my face about their fucking paper quality?
well, it matters for comic nerds like us.
No, I'm just saying, if for all the reasons to inflate your cost, yes, you can try and dictate paper quality, but let's be honest, there's one reason why your cost is going up, and that reason is corporate greed.
It's the largest one, yes.
Yeah.
Which I will insert your clip right here.
Corporate greed.
And
Stonks.
Yeah.
It's obviously, all of these companies got purchased by large companies such as Warner Brothers and eventually Warner Brothers Discovery
Yeah.
and Disney. So obviously they got to make their money back because they spent billions. They probably recouped that multiple times over at this point, but they're not going to lower the
No,
price.
absolutely. I mean,
Once you've increased
it's-
it, you don't go back.
That's capitalism for you.
So we'll see. Maybe if more competitors follow suit with Mark Millar's lead here, there might be some hope that we can reinvigorate the comic market a little bit and maybe, just maybe, have a more competent market for comic books and maybe
That's a fantastic thought.
keep them alive for a little longer.
And
Yeah,
that's where it ends. That's a fantastic thought.
Yeah, see, that's it's really going to come down to how the sales do. Like if this if this book nightclub starts outpacing things coming directly from Marvel and DC,
Yeah.
then I think Marvel and DC might take another look at what they're doing with their comics lines.
Yeah.
No, they won't.
And unfortunately, you have to wonder how much of this is driven by there being a single distributor for most comic books. That's been remedied a little bit because some companies have taken the lead in finding new distributors. But Diamond has been notoriously the only distributor of comic books for the longest time, and that only very recently changed when Penguin House, the bookmakers, they started doing some distribution for DC in particular because DC got pissed and they didn't want to pay them anymore because Diamond was just fucking everything up. They were fucking up every order. Everybody was getting their product late.
Right.
Local comic book shops were sometimes sitting like a week without their product because it didn't arrive because Diamond didn't distribute it properly and didn't use the proper networks. And then there was some cases where Diamond unfortunately started using like third parties and just fucking it up completely. So there's a lot to be said that this is largely due to a monopoly market in the distribution part of things, but like you said, corporate greed is certainly a thing, and hopefully this helps to fight it a little bit.
Let's hope.
Moving on. Next topic, anime streaming platform Crunchyroll has finalized a purchase of Right Stuff, a competing anime distributor and streaming service. This follows a past purchase and anticipated merger of Funimation, which also had a separate streaming app up until very recently. As part of the merger, Crunchyroll confirmed it will be phasing out the Right Stuff's erotica content. All existing orders will, however, be honored. So, for those lewd boys out there, you better get your orders in now.
Phase out that erotica. No more. Man, what are we gonna do about the cover of the week now? We're not gonna have all of our erotica covers.
I know. It's very disappointing.
Oh, we'll be fine.
We'll still have Dynamite.
We'll still have Boundless.
Boundless, yes. There's no way we'll lose our big titty comics.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not.
But I brought this up less for the erotica content part and more for the monopoly on anime streaming part.
Because it's another...
Because of course.
Yeah.
I mean, literally right now, the only competitor to Crunchyroll in any way, shape, or form is Netflix and their proprietary animes, which are largely terrible.
And we'll go back to our previous conversations about how terrible of a company Netflix is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that it's the witch devil at this point.
Yeah.
Better the devil you know than the devil you don't.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's nice that they will be largely combined into a single thing you can purchase to stream whatever anime you wish to stream. But monopolies are never good for the market. They're going to raise prices. They're going to insert ads.
Right.
They're going to do all the shady shit that all these streaming services are trying to do.
Increase prices, decrease quality.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yep.
And, I mean, if you are somebody who leans more into the lewd boy content, well, unfortunately, you won't have any avenues for that other than free internet porn. So, and we all know there's not enough of that. So, just thought I'd end on that note. And then to wrap up this show, we have our free games for August, which I'll bring up right now. It's 2022 from PlayStation Plus. We have Little Nightmares for PS4. We have Yakuza Like a Dragon for PS5 and PS4.
Like a dragon. Hey!
Very first time. Then we also have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 as a combined deluxe cross-gen package.
Oh my god, I want Tony Hawk 1 and 2, but I don't have a PlayStation.
It's okay.
Next.
We have one. We'll report back.
Got one right over there. Next up, Xbox Games with Gold for August 2022. We have Calico, which is available from the 1st to the 31st. We have Saints Row 2, which is available from the 1st to the 15th. And then you have Scourgebringer from the 16th to September 15th. And then Monaco, What's Yours is Mine from August 16th to August 31st. So
yeah, none of those are exciting to me.
Their dates are kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Can they just make it 1
Well,
month?
they used to do the whole, like, they would give you one title for the month, and then one title from the 1st to the 15th, and then another title from the 15th to the 30th. Now this whole like 15th through next 15th and all.
Yeah, just confusing.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Just make them all the same date. It'd be much easier. Yeah, I assume gold is the same as plus, where once you have it, it's yours.
Yeah,
as
gold
long as
is
you're a member, right?
is the whatever it is, like $100 a year or $15 a month or whatever it is, and then once you download it, you have it forever. Or once you don't even have to download it, you just have to.
Yeah, so that makes the date
give it to
even
me.
more nonsensical.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason for that. Just make them all the same date. Next up, Amazon Prime games, which are free. We got Recompile, Scourgebringer, StarCraft Remastered, Beasts of Maravilla Island, Family Mysteries, Poisonous Promises, and Zach McCracken and the Alien Mindbenders.
Zach McCracken, the son of Phil.
That
Phil
McCracken. So yeah, I think StarCraft's probably the only thing people care about.
Probably.
Google Stadia Pro's free games will be
That's
Calico.
still a thing.
Welcome to Elk. They're trying. They have money, and it doesn't matter how long it takes you to adopt.
Against all odds, they're still holding out hope.
Monster Jam Street Titans 2.
Murders by Numbers, Saints Row the Third Remastered, and Shantae Half Genie Hero Ultimate Edition.
So Google Stadia is giving you a newer Saints Row game than Xbox this month.
Is that the case? That is the
Yes.
case. That is confirmed.
Saints
That's
Row
hilarious.
2 on Xbox. Google Stadia gives you. Granted, I got.
And
okay,
it's remastered.
all right.
Look at that.
But, however, I got Saints Row the Third on Xbox Live like 3 years ago for free. So I guess Xbox is just going back to. Xbox has given out so many, or Microsoft, I should say, has given out so many free games through Gold. Yeah, thank you. My voice is not working, or my mouth is not working. Xbox has given out so many free games through Gold that I feel like they're kind of running out, because they're not going to give out brand new games. Clearly, that's not what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So now they have to like push themselves even farther back in their catalog to find shit to give away for free.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know. Have they already gone through all of their Microsoft Studios stuff?
I'm sure. I don't know. I haven't been a Gold member for at least a year now.
I don't know. I would just think with all the assets that Microsoft currently has, you would think they'd have unlimited.
But I know I
titles
got
to pull from.
I know for a fact that I have Saints Row the Third, and I'm pretty sure I got it like 3 years ago. I don't think I've ever actually played it, but I remember clicking that button, and when I go in my library, it says Saints Row the Third.
You have this game. Maybe play it sometime.
I think it's funny. I don't know if you guys remember the original first two Saints Row games, which were very much just GTA clones.
Oh yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the third and fourth just went off the fucking rails and started bringing in aliens and spapeships and like superpowers
Yeah,
and
I've
giant
never-
dildos and just like
Sounds about right.
they went nuts. Whereas GTA stayed like the generic gangster thing.
Yeah,
You know. So very strange.
Yeah, we'll see how this is going, because it seems like the Saints Row games in particular are getting pushed out there in preparation for the upcoming reboot Saints Row.
Yep. And I'm interested to see which direction they reboot.
Oh god.
I assume it's going to be the absurdist.
It's gonna be straight dildo aliens.
Oh god. Just straight to dildo aliens.
Yeah, they have to. They have to at this point, right? They
Where
don't-
else can they go?
Why would you make another GTA?
You
clone?
don't want to ask that question. Never ask the dildo aliens where they can go.
But that wraps up all the news for this week. And as always, we have to give out a prestigious, nay, life-changing award of Comic Cover of the Week from Hit the Books Podcast.
Ooh.
This week, Marvel is the big winner with Ghost Rider Vengeance Forever #1. And this time, not a variant, but the actual comic cover, which is always a good sign. This one is done by Bjorn Behrens. Bjorn Behrens. You've done a wonderful job here with this cover. This is a fantastic representation of Ghost Rider. If you look closely at the cover, you see a lot of reminiscent things from the past about the Ghost Rider franchise in general. Really cool art, really finely detailed, and really the closer you look at it, the better it gets. Just a lot of cool eye-popping things, a nice big jump of eye-catching color right at the center of the cover, and then as you expand out, it gets into the darker shades. Really like it, really enjoy this. I think it's a wonderful cover, and will hopefully help sell this book quite a bit. Once again, Marvel, get rid of your barcodes on the front of your comics. It's very annoying. But other than that, really great looking cover.
I am definitely interested in this book now because the cover, amazing. Absolutely well done.
You know that's not how you're supposed to judge a book.
You gotta throw it at camera too.
We suck.
Eventually.
We're such hacks.
I'm getting to that. If you go to, like, who else is on this book? The illustrator, Juan Jose Rip. Responsible for probably some of my favorite graphic novels that I've ever read.
Yeah, so there's a lot going for this book. If they fuck it up, it's entirely the writer's fault.
Entirely.
It's like,
it's like you got a great cover artist and you have a great illustrator for the interiors.
No pressure, Ben Percy.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
I'm sure it's fine.
So,
and you also have a character named Necro the Tattooist.
Necro the Tattooist.
Because why not?
Oh boy. Okay, see now,
who uses his needles to bring dark truths to the surface.
Well, keeping in new tradition as we started last week, to try to help sell this book, we are going to read the synopsis. So last week the synopsis was not so good. It was a very bad synopsis filled with sexual innuendos that were completely unnecessary.
Yeah, let's see if this comic is any better.
All right, so here we got celebrating 50 years of vengeance. Johnny Blaze, still reeling from his time in Hayden's Falls, seeks the counsel of a seer named Necro the Tattooist. We said it.
Yep.
Who uses his needle to bring dark truths to the surface. What follows is not a wild tour through Ghost Rider's lost history, but also a warning about the future and an examination of the troubling weight of legacy. So very vague, but menacing. Could be good.
Yeah. I'd hate to have to pull from an old storytelling trope, but this definitely seems like he's been doing this for a long time, but the past has come back to haunt him.
Dead inside.
Lucky for you, he's dead on the outside.
Oh.
Hey.
Well, that's just convenient. And the puns keep going.
And by dead on the outside, I mean played by Nicolas Cage. Every single time.
Can we get a reboot with Nick Cage? Is
No.
that a thing?
No, we can't. No.
Do we have a Ghost Rider right now?
Ryan Gosling
I know
voiced
we had a
interest.
Netflix
Ryan
attempt at it,
Gosling?
right? With the
Oh, you mean Robbie Reyes?
yeah,
Oh, he was on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah,
show.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yep.
I mean, it's only a matter of time until we get a Ghost Rider at this point. They've shown, with everything else that they're doing right now and the ways that they're going with...
Multiverse of Madness would have been perfect.
Multiverse of Madness would have been perfect for a lot of things. But with everything that they're doing right now and where they're going with the movies and the shows, I feel like we're going to get at least a Ghost Rider cameo in the next 2 years, I would say.
Oh, absolutely. So there has to be an allusion to Mephisto, which would then give way to an allusion to Ghost Rider.
Wasn't that who was not Mephisto not referenced in the first Doctor Strange?
No.
Dormammu.
Dormammu, that's the
Yeah.
one.
That's right.
Which clearly
Big
they're
purple
bringing
blob.
him back in after the post-credit scene of Multiverse of Madness. And
Yes.
the Dark Dimension and his niece or whatever the fuck she
Yeah.
was.
Yeah,
Like,
Clea has to be there for a reason, and that reason is always Dormammu.
yes. And, well, they cut open a fucking portal into the dark dimension. So,
Yes, very crudely with a knife.
literally.
Can we just real quickly talk about how terrible that CGI was?
Which one? That or the third eye?
The eye was real bad. The portal was also bad.
But it was classic Sam Raimi, so I give it a pass. Because if there's one thing Sam Raimi does, it's cheesy effects on horror movies.
Right.
So
that's one thing. It's like if he has money for just cheesy, then at the very least he's consistent with it.
Right. I mean, that's why I don't mind the shitty CGI of the eye, because look at zombie Doctor Strange. He looked exactly like a fucking not Day of the Dead, but fucking Army of Darkness zombie.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Bruce Campbell without makeup on.
Well, that too.
I think he's just in love with Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, him and Bruce Campbell have a bromance of the centuries.
A very long-standing history.
Yes.
But yeah, getting back to the cover, congratulations, Bjorn. You've done a wonderful job with this cover, and hopefully this comic is a big success. No pressure, Ben Percy.
No pressure. Not at all.
Well, I think that wraps up another mediocre edition of Hit the Books podcast.
Mediocre!
Thank you all for listening and watching. Of course, catch those natural ones on Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/those natural ones. And you can catch them elsewhere as well, correct?
Yes. Facebook.com/those natural ones. And we also have a YouTube, which is best bet to link from our Facebook channel, because YouTube is reasons.
Yep, and we'll put the link in the description so you can always find that. Once again, if you could do us a big favor, give us a like and subscribe here on the YouTube channel. And then if you are listening elsewhere on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Podbean, please give us a nice review there as well. It really helps us out in spreading the show, and also getting us to a point where we can actually do something with the show beyond what we're doing currently, and maybe hire a producer. Who knows?
Cross your fingers.
So definitely look out for that. Look out for the Twitch streams. Really appreciate your love and support. Be sure to reach out to us at HitTheBooksVids, VIDS, @gmail.com if you want to submit your lewd Sonic the Hedgehog fan art for Emery.
Please don't. Please don't. Unless you're Jared Leto, then, I can't
Please
stop
do.
anything you do.
We'll send you a used
I
condom.
wish you did.
No. Maybe.
Once again, thank you all for watching and listening. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Pay your writers! Flex on these hoes. Put these broke boys in a body bag when they try to talk shit. That's adorable.